Hello and welcome to Things I Find Interesting That Happened Today in the Past, aka Tifitht Itp. This show is all about the historical events of the past, both recognized by actual historians and ones I personally find interesting enough to talk about. My information comes from the smart device application on this day, the icon of which can be seen as cutoff prevention at the start and end of this video. Anyway, on with the show! Today is Sunday, December 6, 2015. In 2008, the 2008 Greek riots broke out upon the murder of 15-year-old Alexandros Grigoropoulos by a police officer. In 2006, NASA revealed photographs taken by Mars Global Surveyor suggesting the presence of liquid water on Mars. In 1988, the Australian Capital Territory was granted self-government. In 1978, Spain approved its latest constitution in a referendum. In 1977, South Africa granted independence to Botswana, although this action is yet to be recognized by any other country. In 1969, Meredith Hunter was murdered by Hells Angels during a Rolling Stones concert at the Altamont Speedway in California. In 1967, Adrian Kantorowicz performed the first human heart transplant in the United States. In 1957, during Project Vanguard, a launchpad explosion of Vanguard TV-3 thwarted the first U.S. attempt to launch a satellite into Earth orbit. In 1947, the Everglades National Park in Florida was dedicated. In 1941, during World War II, the United Kingdom and Canada declared war on Finland in support of the Soviet Union during the Continuation War. Camp X opened in Canada to begin training Allied secret agents for the war. In 1933, U.S. Federal Judge John M. Woolsey ruled that James Joyce's novel Ulysses is not obscene. In 1928, the government of Colombia sent military forces to suppress a month-long strike by United Fruit Company workers, resulting in an unknown number of deaths. In 1922, 1 year to the day after the signing of the Anglo-Irish Treaty, the Irish Free State came into existence. In 1921, the Anglo-Irish Treaty was signed in London by British and Irish representatives. In 1917, during World War I, the USS Jacob Jones was the first United States destroyer to be sunk by enemy action when it was torpedoed by German submarine SMU-53. In 1917, Finland declared independence from Russia. In 1904, Theodore Roosevelt articulated his corollary to the Monroe Doctrine, stating that the U.S. would intervene in the Western Hemisphere should Latin American governments prove incapable or unstable. In 1897, London became the world's first city to host licensed taxicabs. In 1884, the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. was completed. In 1877, the first edition of the Washington Post was published. In 1865, the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution was ratified, banning slavery. In 1790, the U.S. Congress moved from New York City to Philadelphia. In 1768, the first edition of the Encyclopedia Britannica was published. And in 1534, the city of Quito in Ecuador was founded by Spanish settlers led by Sebastián de Belalcázar. Births: Babyface Nelson, 1908. Deaths: Jefferson Davis, 1889. And that concludes Tifitht Itp for your dose of Past Events Daily. I am Ayo, and you are new. Toodles.